Jūs klausotės Radio Klubo.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to talk about our midterm training. Last week the waiting was finally over and it was time for our midterm training. On Tuesday, the 27th February, we traveled to Vilnius to the National Agency where we met all the other volunteers. We had time to talk until everybody came. Altogether we were around 20 volunteers and the training took place in a wonderful house in Mulitai. It was our new home for 5 days and I think everybody felt very welcoming in this lovely place. When we arrived there with the bus, the sun was shining and the atmosphere was full of energy and happiness. During the training we talked about our projects, feelings and experiences. Moreover, we were climbing in the forest and played other games to trust each other blindly. For some of us it was really difficult to not be able to control everything and give our life in other hands. So, for example, we walked also blindly over the lake. It was a real adventure. On the first evening, we had to go together in groups to create our own more. Our trainers brought a lot of second-hand clothes, straw, balloons, tape and other things with them, and then we could be really creative. Finally, we burned our more and said goodbye, not only to the winter, but also to all the negative things who stress us. From unfriendly people over bad thoughts in the daily life up to some stupid feelings we had during our work. We burned everything what came to our mind. For me, this experience was really nice because I could say goodbye to some feelings I had, to some mistakes I made, and I got the chance to clean my head and start from new. My personal highlight of the training was the international dinner on the last evening. We all should cook one of our traditional foods of our country. 20 volunteers together in a small kitchen trying to cook 8 different dishes. It was a mess, but at the same time it was so funny and enjoyable. Everybody tried to help the other nation when we had nothing to do. And very often we had to wait for a little place to cook our dish. Finally, we had German potato salad and Wiener Schnitzel, Romanian chicken rolls, Hungarian paprika soup, Serbian spicy sauce, Spanish potato tortillas, and as dessert, Austrian Kaiserschmarrn and French apple pie. Everything smelled so tasty and delicious, and you can imagine, we all eat too much because it was so good. Ludikas, what was your highlight?
Hello, today I will give my opinion about the middle training of our EBS. To be honest, I really liked more the first training, but also the second training was not very bad. I think that it is very important because in the middle training you can meet with other volunteers and exchange point of view of all the things you are living in your EBS, and then with these other opinions you can try to improve yourself. And also it's very good to meet other new volunteers and to make activities together. The training was really interesting and funny because we make different workshops and team activities like climbing, that for me is not my specialty, but it was funny, and kind of things like this. The most difficult thing during the training for me, I think, it was when I get lost with other 2 volunteers in the forest during the night, because it was not, we walked about 20 kilometers that night, and it was not very funny, but at the same time a bit funny, because, for example, when we get lost, we go for us help to an older woman, and she take us in his car for take out the snow to the main road, and that was funny. And 3 volunteers with an old woman in a car for take out the snow was funny. and then we have to walk a lot. And before arrive to the hotel, I have a little accident. For a little, I broke my head, but fortunately, I am very good now. And it was the most difficult situation, I think, during the training. But in general, it was not bad. I really prefer the first one, but the second was not too bad. And I really recommend this kind of trainings because it's very important to exchange point of view with others and learn new things.
Anne-Sophie, can you share your experience with us?
I would like to speak about 2 events which happened during the training. 2 events which touched me because of their human dimension. First one, it was when we walked through the lake to join our meeting with an old couple. Actually, during one of the first on-arrival training, I was not there. A group of volunteers had a task which was to walk in the forest and find a house where people could welcome them for a tea or a coffee. An old couple welcomed them and they had a great moment. These nice persons asked the volunteers to send by post the group picture they took, but the volunteer who was in charge to do it lost the address. So, our mission during this training was, with one of these volunteers, to find the couple and ask once more their address. After some adventures on the lake and a great moment to walk in the frozen forest, we met the couple. They were so happy to meet volunteers, it was really amazing. They remembered Maxime, the French volunteer they met the first time, and they were really glad to meet others German, Hungarian and French volunteers. We had really a good time with these persons who, in few minutes, proposed us tea, coffee, chocolates, cookies. The man even proposed us a concert of harmonica. During 1 hour, this old couple shared with us their home, their food and their hobbies. A very nice and memorable moment. The second moment was much crazier. We decided with Ludvikas and Maxime, a French volunteer, to go for an evening walk on the frozen lake. After we went across the lake, it was really too dark, too windy and too sliding to continue to walk on the lake. And in addition, we were lost. So we decided finally to join the forests where we found near the border of the lake a private property. We decided to knock on the door and the woman, when she saw us by the windows, was a little bit afraid. Finally she opened her door, spoke in Lithuanian with our trainers, proposed us some cookies and drove us back on the main road with a car to clean the snow. This woman was really a good person. But if it was an adventure for us, it was the same for her. I think it's not so often when she has to help 3 foreigners volunteer lost on the lake during the night. Really, these 2 adventures, more or less crazy, reinforce my opinion about Lithuanian people. When I heard some volunteers who were saying that Lithuanian people are stupid, I think it's just because these persons are not really open-minded. Because maybe they don't smile so much in the streets, but when you need them, they always have a big heart to help you, even in the craziest situation. Of course, I didn't wait to see that Lithuanian people are really helpful, but during this training, I really had the opportunity to confirm what I think, and especially to show to other volunteers that they should be more tolerant and open-minded. This midterm training, more or less appreciated by the volunteers, was, I think, another moment to learn about yourself. It's always difficult when someone say you will have your training, you will be in the same place with other volunteers, friends or not, and you will have to share your feelings. I know that many volunteers were not so happy to join the training, but I can't say how everybody lived personally the training. For me, who didn't really want to go there, it was good experience. Actually, it depends of you if you want or not to have a good time, if you want to dare to make new things, if you want to do like everybody or just feel free to be like you are. Even if during this training we didn't share a lot, it was for me a moment of relaxation and which gave me more motivation to continue the EVS. The feeling of freedom I got, and all these adventures and incredible meeting we had are just the fruit of our motivation and our taste to go out of our comfort zone.
Finally, I think I can say that this 5 days in Muay Thai was a really nice experience for us. We had time to think about ourselves, about our project and other experiences, and share it with our friends. At the same time, we went to our limits and explored new things in ourselves. Thank you for your attention.